I've missed the last two First Descendant dev notes thanks to a bit of a hardware issue, so instead of doing a read of each of these notes like my previous videos, I thought I would pull it all together and give you the highlights of Dev Notes 9 and 10. Thanks for your patience while I've been getting things back up and running. Now let's get into everything we have to look forward to in the First Descendant. Let's start this video off with a bang. We have had the announcement of the final, yes you heard that right, final tech test for the First Descendant. This is on its way and will be running from the 25th to the 26th of May, from midnight to midnight PDT. This will be PC only, so I'm sorry console players, and they have said that this will be the final check for technical quality before release, which I think it's safe to say means release won't be too far behind. Let's talk dev notes, starting with Dev Note 9. This update centered around UI and UX, which is user interface and user experience. Starting off with what is to me a pretty big one, loadouts. I was very happy to see loadouts coming to this game. I see this as a must-have feature for looter shooters, where you'll be able to spend all of your time testing and trying out different builds. You want a way to save them, so you don't always have to dig through your gear and put everything together manually. From the way the dev note reads, there will be two types of loadouts: a full loadout, which includes your Descendant, weapons, and all of the modules and integrated presets that go along with them. Then there's a loadout which is more just modules and presets. The main difference here is you can only switch your Descendant in Albion or a field camp, whereas you can change your modules on the fly at any point. So I'm assuming one of these loadouts you can only change in Albion and field camps, the other just whenever you feel like it. Again, great addition to the game, very happy about this one. They have also made changes to the core menus, specifically dividing the in-game menus into tabs. You can move through these to access different menus from customization, inventory, descendants, and consumables. The map has had the same treatment with journals, maps, quests, social, and so on. Another good quality of life change, and something I think a lot of players will be familiar with from other games. We will also be seeing some big changes coming to the reward content info you see at the beginning of a mission. Previously, this was quite light, giving you information about maybe an item you will earn and showing XP and currency, where in reality, you had a chance to earn significantly more rewards, all at varying percentage drop rates. This will now be reflected in the information before you start a mission. This change is going to give us a much more in-depth look at what you could potentially earn, as well as the guaranteed drops, as well as showing you the actual percentage chance of each of those drops, which I think is a big win. It's very rare you actually know the drop chance of gear, so I love this. Another great change is the addition of the library. This will be a new menu in which it shows your Descendants, weapons, modules, components, crafting materials, and more. This sounds good, but the real value of the library is that it will also give you all of the information you need to farm everything in that menu. After a specific weapon, check the library for the drop location. Want to farm a Descendant? Head to the library, it will tell you where to get all of the components. I think this will really help give players a more straightforward goal and direction when putting together new builds, or maybe just trying to complete their collection of Descendants. Moving on to Dev Note 10, and this one came with some of the more juicier changes. Dev Note 10 focused on dungeons, matchmaking, new content, achievement titles, and a test area for your builds. There is a lot they squeezed into this one, and it really did help rise the hype levels. Let's start with the word I know perked up a lot of people's ears: dungeons. Dungeons are set to be an endgame instant content with a difficulty curve that adjusts depending on the amount of players, which means you can either play them solo or with a full group, and the difficulty will reflect that. You will be able to jump into the instant dungeons, also known as the reclamation operations, from a terminal in Albion, or by using the mission beacons out in the fields. Like most activities in the First Descendant, you'll be able to run these operations in normal or hard if you want an extra challenge. Plus, there seems to be some additional modifiers you can add to increase the rewards. Things like increasing the enemy's health or decreasing your own damage, which will get you some extra currency. If the screenshot in the dev note is anything to go off, these look like they could be pretty interesting, with this showing a kind of Resident Evil style laser grid to work through. I don't know if these are going to be raid-like content, or smaller, more difficult missions, maybe something more like incursions from the Division 2. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, I'm really excited to be getting more endgame content. And after talking about dungeons, the cherry on the top here is they've also made adjustments to the matchmaking, including adding a private setting. So if you want to put together a small group of friends without worrying about randoms jumping in, you can set it to private and just keep it you and your friends. Next up, we have new content, Special Operation Research Blocking. During these special operations, we'll be able to block the Vulgus researchers from carrying out their experiments and research. These researchers will be monsters that possess specialized abilities and are granted a special mission. These researchers won't engage in battle, but will be protected by a large number of Vulgus troops. This sounds pretty interesting. I can't tell if this is going to be an activity in itself, or something that pops up during other missions and activities. Either way, I say the more content the better, keep it coming. Really looking forward to trying out all the new content, the dungeons, the mission types at launch, and hopefully in the upcoming tech test. We're also getting achievements, which I'm personally happy to hear. I have spent more time than I'd like to admit chasing commendations, which are the Division 2's version of achievements, and I'm hoping that some of the ones in the first Descendant are gonna have some decent challenges or something creative, not just kill X amount of enemies, but we'll have to wait and see for that one. Along with the achievements, we're also getting titles. This is actually a pretty interesting system. Very much like the Helldivers 2 ship name, you get to create your title using 2 different halves. This means you can really make something unique, or maybe a title that fits you or how you see your character. Pretty creative, I like this. It looks like these will be unlocked from achievements, but I'd be shocked if there weren't other ways to unlock title pieces, maybe through the story or by completing some of the endgame content. And finally, if that wasn't enough, we are getting the laboratory. From what I can see, this is going to be very similar to the Simulacrum in Warframe, a test area where you are able to spawn enemies and try out new builds, weapons, etc. This, for build crafters, is going to be a dream, and a place where they can try out their weird and wild ideas in the safety of their own little instance. Again, another solid addition to the game. It really looks like the devs are moving in the right direction with the first Descendant, and I'm really excited to get into the tech test coming on the 25th of May. If you're going to be taking part, let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, I'm pretty hyped for the first Descendant, and I will definitely be keeping up with everything on this game, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads. If you want to support the channel, you can become a channel member or join over on Patreon. Links are in the description. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.